Okay, if your Ninja Creamy has been in hibernation during the colder months, it's time to dust it off and take it out of hiding for summer. So this time, I've got some special throwback flavors that are going to take you straight back to your childhood. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Amanda, aka Fit Food AE, and today we're going to be making 5 high protein, low calorie, nostalgic ice cream flavors with the Ninja Creamy. They all have between 200 to 300 calories for the entire pint. So let's get started, shall we? So first one we got is Rocky Road. This one is my favorite of the bunch. Of course, I always put my favorite first. This one was definitely a childhood favorite. It's chock full of mix-ins like chocolate chips, marshmallows, and biscoff. So you notice a lot of the recipes have a similar base, obviously because this one's chocolate, it's a little bit different. But yeah, we basically use a combination of all these things, and then I mix it up with my milk frother. I forgot to add the cocoa powder in, so I mixed it up last like that. Basically, you're going to want to use a milk frother to mix it instead of mixing it just by shaking it because it just blends it a lot better. Obviously, we're going to freeze it for 24 hours, and then we're going to put it on light ice cream for the first spin. So the first thing I do is scrape down the edges like this. This just allows the ice cream to be more blended and not icy on the sides. You could also run it under warm water for 30 seconds. Then for the mix-ins, I'm actually going to dig a hole in the middle, and we're going to add some chocolate chunks and the marshmallows. Digging a hole in the middle is important because otherwise the mix-ins are just going to be like on the top, and you really want them to be like throughout the ice cream. So it's going to make sure to seal the hole there. You could add a little bit of unsweetened almond milk, but I find that with the xanthan gum it blends really well and you don't really need to. But if you want it to have more of a soft serve consistency, then maybe put like a couple tablespoons of unsweetened almond milk. Now it looks so good. Everything is so blended and toppings are throughout. I like to make it so I put half the mix-ins in the middle and then half of them on top. And then I put a little bit of biscoff drizzle on top there. And there we have our Rocky Road. This is so good. If you're a chocolate ice cream person, you're definitely bound to love this. So for all these recipes, I use PE Science protein. In this particular one, I use chocolate truffle protein. If you want to purchase from PE Science, please use my discount code FIT15. It's a whey casein blend. But if you don't have access to PE Science, you could just use any other protein. Whey protein should work just fine. I see a lot of people in the comments being like, oh, I could never finish a pint in one sitting. Wait till you try this flavor because you're going to gobble the entire thing down like it's nobody's business. The second one we've got is Rum Raisin. This one surprised me. I normally don't like raisins, but I absolutely love this flavor. So caramelly and nice. So before you comment like, oh, how is something with rum a childhood flavor? There actually isn't rum in this recipe, but we use rum extract, which you can buy on Amazon. So I'd highly recommend using that. Otherwise, you're not really going to get the rum flavor from this. You could also use regular rum though if you don't mind using alcohol. But yeah, you just use like a tiny bit. Then we're going to freeze it. And of course, the mix-ins, we're going to be using raisins, but we're actually going to be soaking those in warm water for about 15 minutes and then adding a little bit more rum extract there. Just mix that all together and then, yeah, just let it soak. I kind of let it soak as I was preparing the creamy. So you're going to do the same thing here and put it on the light ice cream setting. People have asked me why I don't use the regular ice cream setting. It's because this is light ice cream. It's not regular ice cream. We're using light ingredients. So yeah. Then we're going to scrape the edges here as usual. Make sure to do this. I know it's a little bit annoying, but it makes the biggest difference. And then for the mix-ins, we're going to dig a hole and we're going to add the raisins in there. After they're nice and soaked, just make sure to drain the water, of course, and then seal the hole before you put it in for the mix-in spin. I was looking at nostalgic flavors for this video and some of them were like really questionable, like chocolate taco. And I was like, I don't remember ever eating that as a kid, but go off. This looks so good. This flavor was so like caramel, like butterscotchy, which kind of makes sense because I used butterscotch, like fat-free butterscotch pudding mix. This one turned out so creamy and delicious. Comment below and let me know if this was a flavor you ate as a kid. I feel like maybe it's a less common one of this bunch, but honestly, I would highly recommend trying this. This one has 250 calories for the whole pint, which is amazing. It's honestly so filling. I feel like when I go to ice cream stores now, I don't really see this flavor. Maybe it's been discontinued. I don't know. But either way, you can make it with this video so you can enjoy it anytime in the comfort of your own home. Next one we've got is mint chocolate chip. Now, I hesitated to make this flavor for a while. I've gotten a lot of requests for it. It's because I'm not the biggest fan of mint and chocolate together, but I don't hate it. So obviously I decided to make it for this video. So the actual ice cream is going to be vanilla base, and then we're going to use some mint slash peppermint extract. Just don't put too much, otherwise it's going to taste like toothpaste. And some green food coloring. I mean, if you don't want to use food coloring because you're one of those like natural whatever like woo-woo people that doesn't believe in artificial sweetener, I don't know, then don't put it. I don't know. Then it's not going to be green and it's not going to be fun. I wanted mine to be super bright and green and fun and to go with kind of the mint theme. So now here is where I went wrong because I made this pint a couple times. The first time I put actual chocolate chips in and I was like, wait, that doesn't look like the normal mint chocolate chip ice cream. What you gotta do is put actual chocolate shavings in there, like scrape down the sides and then dig a hole in the middle and put the chocolate shavings in rather than chocolate chips, because that's kind of how mint chocolate chip ice cream looks, like the shavings are all throughout the ice cream. It's also better to do this because, again, the ice cream is very like mint flavored and you don't want it to just taste like straight mint. You want it to taste like mint chocolate, kind of like a peppermint patty kind of deal there. So do that, put a hole in the middle, and then we're gonna do the mix-in setting just to blend it all throughout there. And then we're actually gonna put some more shredded chocolate on top. See how it's blended all throughout, which is amazing. We're gonna put some more shredded chocolate on top because, like, why not? I just use like a butter knife to chop up the chocolate into really, really tiny pieces. That's what I'd recommend doing. And then, yeah, you've got it all blended together, all really nice. This flavor would also be really good for like a save patties kind of deal, having green ice cream. I think I've made Lucky Charm ice cream once as well, which again was probably similar to this, just with like Lucky Charms on the top. I feel like this is a lot of people's favorite flavor. My boyfriend said it was like one of his favorite flavors, which I don't really understand because I mean, I just kind of made it for the video and then gave the rest to him, but it did turn out super creamy, so there's that. So our fourth flavor is bubblegum. Now guys, don't knock until you try it. I know bubblegum sounds a bit weird and you're like, how does she even get it to be bubblegum flavored? Well, the key ingredient here is the bubblegum extract. So I got this on Amazon, and again, I know it's a super obscure thing to add, but if you don't add it, it's really not going to be bubblegum ice cream. So highly recommend getting it. I'll put the link in the description, and then putting some red food coloring. You could also do blue food coloring. That's what I was going to do originally, and then I only had red food coloring, so that's what we did. But the bubblegum flavor on this was so strong. I was so impressed. All you need was like a tiny little bit of that bubblegum extract. So basically we're going to put it in for the first spin under light ice cream. By the way, guys, again, you'll notice I'm using xanthan gum. For all the recipes, this is super important to make the ice cream blend really well. I talked about xanthan gum in my last video, which talks about ingredient substitution, so I'll link that up here. But yeah, we're just gonna scrape down the sides, and then for the mix-ins, we're actually gonna put in literal bubblegum pieces. That's right, like literal Hubba Bubba. That's what I was able to find. You definitely don't want to put it in before, like when you freeze ice cream, because then they're going to be frozen and like they're going to break your teeth. So just put it at this stage, dig the hole in the middle, put the gum in there, and then we're going to put it in for the mix-in spin. Now I found that the gum pieces didn't blend as well as some of the other mix-ins, but they still blended throughout, and just look at that. The thing with the food coloring too is I like to add a lot because as you do a couple spins of the ice cream, the pink gets less prominent, and I really like a bright pink color. So I feel like it turned out really, really well. I was surprised at how much I like this ice cream because again, I'm more of like a chocolate caramel kind of ice cream girl. I'm not the biggest fan of like fruity kind of flavors, but the bubblegum ice cream just really reminded me of like childhood. There were some really obscure flavors we had as kids. One of them was called like Super Kid, I think. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but I didn't want to make that because it was too complicated. It was like multiple flavors. So bubblegum it is, and this was delicious. And finally, we're going to end this video with cookie dough. This, I would say, is still one of my favorite flavors to date. I just love cookie dough pieces. Like I could eat cookie dough pieces straight up, which you can with these like Pillsbury ready to eat dough pieces, which is what I got because I didn't want to put raw cookie dough in this, obviously. But yeah, we're just going to use a vanilla base for this. Super easy. A lot of my recipes use a vanilla base. I'm going to freeze it for 24 hours. Make sure to do it for 24 hours and not 12 or 6 like some of you in my comments. It's just not going to turn out as well. And then obviously we're going to start off by doing the light ice cream. And as you're doing that, get your cookie dough out because we're about to put some chunks of cookie dough into this ice cream. It's so exciting. This isn't even high calorie, but it is one of the higher calorie recipes of the bunch, with about 300 calories for the whole thing, but absolutely so worth it, especially with the mix-ins. Like, it makes so much sense. I'm gonna scrape down the edges, and then I'm kind of messy here, digging a hole in the middle. So we're gonna put some of the Pillsbury ready-to-eat cookie dough in the middle there, and then we're gonna cover the hole like this. Obviously put it back in on the mix-in setting, just so the cookie dough gets nice and blended throughout. And then we're actually gonna put some more cookie dough on the top, just like little pieces. This is optional, again, if you wanna keep the macros a bit lower, but based on the macros that I calculated, I just put like about half of the cookie dough inside and then half of it back on top, and it's so well worth it. I think Halo Top also has a cookie dough flavor, which like is a knockoff of this one. No, I'm kidding. Halo Top definitely came first. And I used to eat Halo Top a lot before I got a Ninja Creami, but now I'm like, why would I spend money on that when I can just make my own? This looks so good. Again, I absolutely love cookie dough as a mix-in. I feel like maybe I could have added a little bit of unsweetened almond milk to this to make it a bit creamier, but it did turn out more like a hard ice cream, which is totally fine. Sometimes I crave that versus like a soft serve. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then I'm sure you're looking for more Ninja Creami recipes, so I'm gonna link another video here that you should watch next. And please be sure to give this one a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, as it really helps the channel, and I post new videos every week. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Bye!